Are you listening? Damn.
Hey guys, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Josh.
And welcome to the Infinite Balance Podcast.
We'll navigate parenting, relationships, health, fitness, and so much more.
So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and let's hang out.
I feel like doing a newscaster's opening. And then like, dun-dun-dun. Yeah. Something informal.
Anyway.
Something formal. I was going to say informal. But
Hello, guys.
Hello. Camera's back working. It's the wire. The wire was a little bit janky.
A little janky.
So, I don't know. So,
welcome to this week's episode. We don't know.
Yeah, basically. So we had this idea for today's episode because it's something that I recently went through, and with the help of, I wouldn't say yours truly because that would mean me, right? Who would you be? Mine truly? If anybody knows, please let us know because now that's going to bother me.
Stumped.
Anyway, but Courtney helped me out of it because she reminded me of something simple. What was it? We'll get to that. But the situation that happened was basically I was feeling really unproductive this week. And, it's because of everything else that we had going on. Courtney's mom is fine, by the way. She had the surgery and came back home today, today being Thursday. And
by the time this airs, we should have the full
rundown
pathology report, but the doctor feels good.
Yeah.
So we feel good.
Yeah. Anytime I hear pathology, I always think of like a psycho.
Yeah, I could see that. Pathology, psychology.
Isn't that what they like, pathological liar, like that type?
Yeah, pathological, yeah. But pathology is like cancer stuff.
Liars are cancer.
Well, it's not just cancer stuff. It's pathology. It's like when you have a biopsy, it runs through pathology. I don't actually know the definition of
so
pathology.
Does that mean that they lied to you?
No.
We're getting off on tangents here today. It's been a long week.
I'm so messed up with my days. I could do a whole podcast episode on that.
You should.
I thought.
So today's topic is Courtney's messed up week.
No. No, we have a good topic for today.
So with the midst of everything going on, we had a brilliant snow blizzard that was really annoying.
The day of surgery.
Yeah, the day of surgery. Well, it started Sunday night into Monday morning, right?
No, it went Sunday night till Tuesday morning.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, we ended up last minute. We were staying in a hotel anyway for her surgery, but we ended up booking it a night earlier because we were afraid we wouldn't make it into the city.
Thank goodness, though.
And it was so good that we did because it was like it started a lot earlier than they thought. It was a lot heavier than they thought.
Yeah.
And her doctor ended up moving her surgery up. So it was good that we were there because instead of having to be there at 11 a.m., we had to be there at 7 a.m. And at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, the governor or mayor, I should say, put a state of emergency and said all cars were prohibited from driving on the road unless it was an emergency, and so we probably would not have made it in.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that would have been bad.
It worked out.
Yeah. I came home early from work, which made it feel like a Monday to me, which is my Saturday almost. So it got me all flipped around.
Yeah,
for
we
the
were
week.
I thought Wednesday was Monday because it was the first non-snow day. It was a lot.
Yeah. So I had besides what she was dealing with at the hospital and with her family members like that were staying there and whatever, I had all of our kids with me because school was canceled and everything else, and I at least 2 or 3 times a day I was outside shoveling at what felt like a foot of snow, and like I usually turn shoveling into a workout, and this kicked my butt.
It kicked your butt.
Like, it rocked me because, like, how
Yeah.
many times and how much I had to shovel, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
But so back to where I was at today, you know, I was still a little bit tired, what I call like a tired hangover almost from just not having adequate sleep. I was up at 2:30 in the morning, Monday morning, shoveling and stuff like that, trying to get ahead of it and whatever.
Yeah.
I was all off for this week, and I woke up just in a rotten mood and just trying to be as positive as I could, and it happens to all of us, folks. You know, I was just getting so frustrated because I felt like I didn't have any time for exercise or to do a whole lot of business stuff like I had thought of doing. And, you know, it wasn't until you said to me that, you know, you were productive. It was just you were doing a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't want to hear it at first because that's, you know.
Nobody ever wants to hear, like, hey, snap out of it.
Yeah. And it's funny because the type of person I am is I just throw it right at you. Like,
yes, you do.
This is what it is. So, but yeah, it was in that mood where I didn't want to hear it. And, you know, I was having a rough morning with the kids going crazy and stuff like that. And getting used to, you know, getting the house ready for your mom to come back and stuff like that. Whatever. So I had thought ever since then that it would be good, since it resonates with us in what we were doing, to make that the topic of our show is how to see progress when you don't see it. And it's something I think all of us fall into, no matter what the cause of it is. Sometimes it's like, you know, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Sometimes it's
or what you feel like you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, or sometimes it's you don't feel like you're productive, but you are, and it's just how you're looking at it, you know. And I think that was an important thing, and I appreciate you saying that to me. Honestly, you know, she's not often right, so like I have to point it out when she is. But I'm going to die. So thank you.
I'm staying silent, but you're welcome. Better thank me. And what Josh is saying is that, you know, one of the things that he felt very stuck on this morning was that the past couple of days he hasn't been productive. And I simply said, you have been productive. And he was like, no, I haven't gotten the business stuff done that I want to. And before he could continue listing whatever else he wanted to list, I just said, you have to think about what you've been productive with, not what you haven't been productive with. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that's very smart for everyone to do. I know I have to do it all the time, is I have to think about on my to-do list. What's my to-do list look like? Instead of at the end of the day thinking, oh my God, look at all these boxes I didn't check off. Mm-hmm. I have to think of, look at all these boxes I did check off.
Yeah.
Look at all these boxes that I added because I got that done. And it's just, it really helps you see the progress of your day instead of
sometimes you also have to accept when the progress of the day is checking off a box, because there's days that happens, you know, like the last couple of days with naps and sleep schedules and stuff like that. Like I did what I could, and it just took that little glimpse of a moment from Courtney that to like bring that back into my head. Like, you know, I think I'm just overdoing it right now because I'm tired, mm-hmm. and I'm just being too hard on myself because of that. And, you know, that's a problem too. I think in regards to things to do for like recognizing your own progress, that's a good one, is making a list of like what you did check. Even if you don't have a to-do list, like if you've accomplished something, write it down. Yeah. Or take a note of it. And that's one thing I like about Instagram, even if you don't do, you know, everyday things, you know, hey, I got this done or whatever. Like, it sounds cheesy, but it works.
I know, like, especially this week, I could have very easily been like, I'm checking out. And I really wanted to, but
especially with all the stuff you had to deal with.
But I've been in that mode for the past couple of weeks. And so, like, Monday, I did a 10-minute workout while my mom was in surgery. It was the perfect distraction. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I checked that off. And then I don't think I posted. I might have posted Monday. I don't remember. But on Tuesday, I know I posted. I checked that box off. Yesterday I didn't post, but I was on my stories a little bit more. Checked that off. So even if that's the only, and I mean, I had other things I checked off, but even if that's the only thing I had checked off, I accomplished that. That's something I checked off my list that business-wise I could have let go because of the craziness of my life.
Yeah. And it's very important to do that. So to also go back to like the Instagram portion of it, not specifically for Instagram, but I meant in more of a way of like you take photos of your progress. It works not just with weight loss and things like that. You know, I read it today that incremental progress can be invisible, or usually is invisible. And I think that's very important too, because like I know people who have taken weekly pictures and they compare them to each other and you don't really see a difference. But then when you look at the picture from 6 months ago, you're half a person less, or you're twice as diesel, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and doing that with everyday things around the house, you know, like just as a reminder to yourself of what, you know, what you've accomplished. It makes a big difference. And then sometimes when you see it, when you're in a calm frame of mind, you're like, oh my God, the kids were tantruming, the house was a mess, and, you know, I don't know, whatever else was happening. And then you look at the next picture and it's like, holy crap, the kids are just chilling out or sleeping and the whole house is clean. And I didn't even realize I went through all that, you know? Because in those chaotic moments, like your mind is not set on that kind of stuff.
I know I benefit from progress pictures a lot.
Yeah. You actually got me started with it, I think.
Well, you're welcome. Another thing I'm right about. So weird.
All right, so there's been 2 things, guys.
In this episode alone. No, but I know I've looked at progress pictures, like Josh said, not even for my weight and my health, but even in a mental health aspect. Like I'll take a picture from a time where I know was not a great mental time, and I'll compare it to a random, like, candid picture from now, and you can see that I'm happier. Like you could just tell by my body language, by my facial, like you can just tell. And so that's another really great way for progress pictures to work outside of your health and fitness and your nutrition is what you like your mental aspect. You yourself can see a difference in pictures for your mental and emotional aspect that others might not.
Yep. It's like scrapbooking for your brain, you know?
Yeah.
Like an unofficial scrapbooking.
And I mean, I know that there are people who they do daily photos, like they take a picture at the same time every day, or weekly photos, and those are fine to show the transformation. But doing those like once a month,
so frequently,
yeah. If you're gonna really see it in yourself when you do those long term. I mean, I've done them a couple of times from 2 days before I had Mila to now, and like, yes, there was a human growing inside of me, but there's progress. I look at pictures from when I came home from the hospital with her. Yes, I was still recovering, but it's progress. It doesn't matter what that progress is from. It's progress.
It's progress. Yep. And I guess I should say that another thing that we had come up with is listening to others, and not specifically in a, I want to say judgmental. I don't know if that's the right word, but not so that they're critiquing you, but I'm talking about those times, and you used to have a problem with it. And
I still have a problem with it.
And I still but address it with you.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I'll be like, oh, you know, you look good today, you're beautiful, whatever. And then it'll be, you do too. And I'm like, stop it. Don't do that. Like, take it in. Don't just deflect it.
I'm very bad at taking compliments.
A lot of people are.
It's an anxiety insecurity thing. Yeah. I'm working on it.
Because I force you to.
Yup. But I'm the type of person that I need that push.
Yeah.
If you were someone who let me like continue to not be good with taking compliments, that would continue to be an insecurity.
Yep. There'd be a whole lot of problems behind it.
Yeah, so I'm slowly getting better with it.
Yeah. I had my downfall today, so,
We all have them. I had a freak out last week mentally, and, it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things where I was in a funk and you were trying to help me get out of it, and that at that moment was not what I wanted, but it is what I needed. I just then didn't allow myself to move on.
We do it to each other.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things that I'm trying to be more aware of and make progress with. I've realized that I've kind of stalled on that progress. And so I'm trying to be aware that the next time I do have a mental shift of just negativity, taking in like, okay, if he gives you advice, he's not criticizing me. Like, be open to it. Don't like just want to be miserable all day. It happens. Sometimes you are just going to be miserable all day. And I've said this on another episode. You eat some comfort food, you go to bed, and you go to bed knowing that you are going to wake up the next day and it's going to be a better day.
Yeah.
But making progress to not allow that to happen every week is something that you have to also recognize in yourself. If you find that you're having those mental freakouts often, and you are making progress into, instead of maybe once a week, it's only happening once every other week, recognize that progress.
Yeah. Yeah. Even just cutting that down a little bit is a big thing. And I think another thing that, like, I had talked about too in the beginning of this was that, it's also very important, even if you can't, you kind of have to do a self-check in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look at the bigger picture and just kind of take a step back and say, like I had to do that after you said that. And I was like, because I think I said something like, well, that's not helping the progress I wanted to make or something like that. And then, when I came downstairs and I started making the progress that I wanted, like I got a new curl bar that I'm excited about. So there's that.
He said curl bar for anyone that it mumbled. I don't know. To me, it mumbled. It might not have mumbled to everyone else.
Curl bar, whatever.
Is
that what you thought I said?
No, both times it sounded like you said. One sounded like crowbar and one sounded like girl bar.
Or grill bar, whatever.
Anyway.
But so I came down knowing that I was going to get into what I wanted to do and exercise a little bit. And, I just started reviewing things that I already kind of knew in my head. But I started reviewing things that, like, I am very tired. Like, I was exhausted, I wasn't eating right for a couple of days because I was just kind of going with the flow. Not that I was eating terribly. It was just not as good as I have been eating. And, I should have been eating better in regards to how much I was like moving and lifting and all that stuff with all the snow and stuff like that.
Which, let me add, we've had 2 bomb home cooked meals the past 2 nights.
Yeah, one was me and one was you.
I'll try to remember to post at least my recipe, and maybe you could post yours. We're good.
I have a problem with not having recipes.
Well, you can at least put the ingredients in what you did. It doesn't have to be. That's the beauty of cooking. It doesn't have to be a science.
It's by the nose. It's good stuff.
Sorry, I interrupted.
So yeah, no, like just, take the time away, do what you got to do, and think of what could be going on, that because maybe it's not an issue at all of progress. Maybe it's progress, like in my case, that you would have noticed, but like I just said like I was exercising more than 3 times a day. I was wrestling around with the kids, trying to keep them entertained, running around cleaning, cooking, doing all that stuff. I was doing so much more than I gave myself credit for. And it was because I was exhausted and because I didn't think it was what I wanted, as opposed to, or it was the level of how I treated myself. I was trying to say. And that's another part of that too, is you got to realize how you're treating yourself, what you're doing.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, definitely take care of yourself. Don't let, try to keep up with your sleep as best as you can. You can, the more foggy headed you get from that, the worse it gets. Same thing with properly getting the proper nutrients for your body, like what you need, you know.
Which, gonna do a shameless plug here. I have a Fresh Start nutrition course that you guys can sign up for. It's in my link tree. We'll put it in the show notes. but it's a good way to just it's a course I created. It's like a 3-day course to just kind of give you information on what your body actually needs. And there's a workbook that goes with it so that it's actually completely custom to what your body needs. So selfless plug there.
And I had a blog and podcast episode about it, but I'll let her take the plug. It's in the show. I honestly forgot what it was called. I don't remember. I think it's I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, it was one of my car thoughts things. Nutrition on a crazy schedule. Got it.
There you go.
So yeah, so that also brings me around to saying that also it's just sometimes about your mindset. I also read something today. I got to read it. I'm not slick with looking up my notes and stuff. So it posed the question, what if you shifted the measure of your goals from progress to being present? And that really hit me hard. Like, that was pretty deep for me when I read that, you know? And I was like, I went into this whole world of thinking like, wow, that's heavy. Because, like, a lot of us judge our progress by where we're progressing to. And, you know, even when you're doing the work and when you're putting it in, some of us aren't always mindful of what we're doing at that time. You know, I'm pretty good about doing it when I'm cooking or when I'm exercising and things like that. But like when I'm trying to handle 5 separate business things that I'm trying to take care of, or, you know, whatever, you know, I don't always realize what I'm doing at the given time, you know, and sometimes things get messed up. Sometimes they get whatever. But I think that was really important reminder to just do what I do in the workout moments or the cooking moments where I take time out. And, wow, I have 15 tabs open right now. I have, you know, I'm writing, I'm doing this stuff, I'm recording, I'm doing whatever I'm doing at that time. And, you know, just being present for that, because even if you don't see progress from that point right away, it's there. And just being in that moment, being like, oh my God, I'm doing so much right now, is incredibly powerful. It's incredibly powerful to give yourself that credit. And it's not in a bad way of like, oh my God, I'm taking on way too much. It's look at how much I'm actually doing, you know? And the last point that I have is to also make sure you gave yourself enough time. Because sometimes people want things quickly. A lot of times.
Guilty.
Yes, we're both guilty of it. And it's just a hard reminder that even if it's something you love, you know, our businesses are something that we love, and taking as long through COVID as it did to get everything started, you know, we had to remind each other constantly that we were still progressing through everything. We were still getting a lot done, even though we weren't seeing the return on that right away. And I think that's an important question to ask yourself, like in a moment where you don't see if you've progressed or not, ask yourself how much time you've given it. If it's only been a day, a week, sometimes even a month. Yeah.
Even your year. Sorry.
Then I think it's important to just realize that it just may not have been enough time yet.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with a short spurt of stagnancy. You know, it'll always continue.
And don't then start the comparison game.
Right.
You know, whether you know someone in your field or someone out, just that you know who like is doing their own thing and they woke up and immediately had success, and you've been doing it for 3 months, 6 months, and you're still hustling with not a whole lot of returns, that doesn't mean anything. Like, it's so hard to not play that comparison game. I know I'm terrible at not playing it, but your journey is not someone else's. And I posted something like this the other day, that never measure your progress with someone else's ruler. Because
I think I saw that. I like that one.
Yeah, I thought that was really like, yeah, some days I just need to hear that. Like, don't measure my progress by someone else's ruler, because what I've accomplished is not what they're looking for, or is not them. It's not their journey. This is my journey. And I would never measure Josh's progress based off of my standards, because that's 2 different people. And Josh would never measure my progress off of his standards. A lot of our stuff aligns, But we're doing this journey together, but we're also on our own journeys and our own paths. And so comparing, and it can be very hard living with someone trying to do a business very similar to what I'm doing, and we're doing everything kind of at the same pace. It can be really hard to not play that game.
Yeah, not get into the comparison zone.
But don't measure your progress with someone else's ruler.
And
Use
give
your own.
yourself credit. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small you think they are. Celebrate the hell out of them.
If you are trying to be like an influencer and you got like 2 new follows today, kudos.
Even if you got 1.
Kudos. If you got no followers, but you didn't lose any, kudos.
Or if you just stayed the same.
Kudos.
You maintained for another day. And that's...
Celebrate the little victories.
That's right.
Because those little victories are what win the war.
That's right. Now she's getting all philosophical.
Bam.
She just dropped an emerald on you. Bam.
Bam. If you don't know Emerald, I'm old.
You're old?
Well, you're always older than me, but if I'm old, like you're
Let me
real
stop
old.
this recording real quick. You're old?
And for those that
Jeez.
don't know, Josh is 6 years older than me. So anytime I say I'm old, he takes offense because he thinks I'm saying he's super old, even though that's not what I'm saying.
We're not allowed to be together for 2 weeks.
Oh my God, we're going to get into this.
It's for another episode.
No, because then you need to explain that. That sounds insane.
Wouldn't that be messed up?
That
I
sounds
just left it there as a
insane.
cliffhanger.
So Josh and I are 2 weeks apart, birth date wise.
Mhm.
And so Josh always had this rule: he would never be with someone who was more than 6 years younger,
Or 6 years older.
or 6 years older. So I just made the cutoff being exactly 6 years younger. But sidebar, if I was 7, I think that we would still be together. Anyway,
There's potential.
so since his birthday is first, it's technically he's that 7th year older for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So we always joke that for 2 weeks we can't be together. But it's
And before anybody judges me on my rule, I've been through some experiences. I had a girlfriend that was 10 years older than me. I've had girlfriend, not that were 10 years younger than me, because that would be weird. But I noticed throughout my life, friends, family, and people that I dated, that was the yearly span that I got along with people, that I noticed that they were within my range of like where I was at in life, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where that comes from. But
there's nothing wrong with people who date or marry people more than 10 or younger than 10 years.
Mhm.
That's just Josh's preference. So
Yep.
let's move on to the lightning round questions now.
Courtney apparently date anybody all willy-nilly.
So what if I did? I didn't. I think the oldest person I ever dated besides you, 3 years older maybe.
Yep, broke the mold with me.
I feel like that was my lightning round question.
I was gonna take it as a lightning
That
round
was a lightning round question for both of us.
No, you cut me off from doing the noise, so now you're getting an extra one.
No.
No. What? I don't care who started it. I'm starting it.
No,
What?
Okay.
What has happened recently that you've given yourself credit for? What small victory have you given to yourself recently?
Besides today with you saying that I was right.
That's just me kind of taking pity.
Rude. I don't remember that. That's so rude. So rude. A small victory that I've given myself.
I didn't. No,
credit
not
for.
small. Did
You
I
said-
say small?
Yeah,
Oh,
you said
I meant
any victory.
It doesn't matter.
And then you said small, a victory that I'm giving myself credit for is how well I did with my mom's surgery.
Mhm.
Like, I could have very easily gone into a dark place that, it was just me. It wasn't my dad. He wasn't at the hotel with me. Everything was purely me delivering the news to everyone, making sure everyone got it.
We've told you guys multiple times, we have a crazy situation. Like it's like a roller coaster every day.
Literally, when people found out that my mom was sick and having surgery, anyone who knows us, their first thing was like, oh my God, another thing? Like, you guys can't catch a break.
Somebody asked me if I had built the house on an Indian burial ground or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a lot. But
Yeah.
so I had to get all the information out to everyone. And I was also the person that was getting the phone calls from the nurse and the doctor while my mom was in OR. And there was a lot of potential for that to have been an extremely hard phone call to take by myself. And
going into this situation, we had heard that there was a heavy possibility that your mom was basically riddled with cancer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it could, like I said, it could have been very easily. I mean, we're very lucky it wasn't a bad call, but I did not let myself freak out. I was like, you know what? I have faith that this is going to not be a bad call. And if it is, I'm prepared for it to be. And I will take the moment I need, or moments that I need if I need it, and I'll move on. You know, I'll be able to kind of take telling everyone else this bad news. Like I said, luckily you didn't need to, but I take pride in how I handled the whole thing.
Plus working.
Yeah, I didn't take any days
business,
off. I didn't take days off. I still was doing work calls and emails and handling stuff. So I had like a little headquarters in our hotel room. Like I had like a couple computers open and
still getting workouts in.
Yeah, I mean, I did it. I didn't get it in Tuesday, but Tuesday I was also traveling. But yeah, like just I'm proud of myself for how I've kind of handled all of this. I know my mom still, this is a little off topic. My mom thinks that one day I'm going to like wake up and have like a breakdown because I'll have actually processed everything. But
no, we have plenty of those.
Well, and the other part is that when she found out the initial diagnosis and those first 2 days, like one day she wasn't even home yet. So she didn't see like the driving to the grocery store hysterically crying, and she didn't see me reading a text from her while in the grocery store and like having to do a breathing exercise to not vomit all over the apples in the grocery store. Like, so she also didn't see all of that because she just wasn't home or with me. So I think a lot of people keep asking me if I'm okay and if I've processed it, and I'm like, no, honestly, I'm fine. And I think everyone's kind of waiting for that to happen. And I do also take pride in that I've processed.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely feel okay.
It's big steps.
Yeah. Normally I'd be like, any other time, old me would be like, I'm done. Life sucks. I can't do this. This isn't fair. Like I would just be so negative about everything. But not the new me. What is your biggest victory from this week?
That I'm struggling to find?
Well, this morning you were. You didn't feel like there was much progress made, or so what's the biggest victory? No matter how small it is, what's your like yes victory?
How quickly I was able to turn my day around. Only because it's been a long time since I was in that kind of a mood, like completely exhausted, woke up completely exhausted, and then like Philip was giving us a really hard time. Michael was in a bad mood. Mila was just a little fiery ball of energy. Always.
But she was also tired, so that she was a little cranky.
Yeah, a little bit. But like it, normally when I've gone to that mode or woken up in that mode, like it's not switching,
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that it was that easy, because before, like, how often would I get upset or mad or whatever, instead of like just thinking about it and fixing it, you know?
I am really proud of you for that too, because there was a moment this morning where I could just tell you were not about it, and I kind of like just walked into the other room. I took a deep breath and I was like, okay, it's gonna be that kind of a day. I know how to prepare for it. And then you took a nap and you came upstairs and you were like, bing bang boom, brand new person, ready to go. And so I'm very proud of you for that too.
That's what I knew I needed. Right in that, you know. Once I realized that I was exhausted, I was like, that's got to be the first thing I do. Because if I wait too long, I'm not going to get anything else done.
Yeah.
So, if you could pick one of, I want to say if you had to pick one of the outfits that they wore in RuPaul's Drag Race, and you had to wear it for 24 hours, which one would it be?
That's a super hard question because there's so many outfits. I don't even think I could remember them.
She hates when I can stump her every single episode.
I can't, like, there's no one answer because I literally cannot remember all their outfits. Their outfits are also very costumey. There was one on last week's, was it? Yes, last week's episode.
Like last week's, like pre-recorded, or last week's?
Like not our, like RuPaul's Drag Race episode, like that aired on the last Friday of January.
Okay.
And that's when it aired. And there was this one drag queen, Got Mick, and she wore this pantsuit that was breathtaking. And it's not something I would normally ever wear, but it was like a pinstripe suit that was like covered in crystals, but one side it was like just like a sparkly bra and like the bra strap. So like one side was long arm, the other was like the bra showing. Mm-hmm. And it could have gone very tacky, but it was like, even the judges were like, I think this is the best piece that's ever been on this show. And that's saying something because it's been on since like 2009.
I feel like we should throw this up on our Instagram somewhere, this costume.
I'm like going to get off the phone. Not the phone. I'm tired, guys. I'm going to get off this and like get it ready to post for when this airs so you can see. This costume was breathtaking, and like she owned it. She owned it. So like in recent years, that's the costume. I'd be like, yeah, I'll rock that.
There you go. And the next time she watches it from like 10 years ago, she's going to be like, oh, maybe this one. Maybe
it's funny because I am watching like from season 1 again.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's totally his fault. And it's funny seeing the fashion choices because they're so very in that time, mm-hmm. where I'm like, oh my God, I've worn that. Like it's like jeans with like a t-shirt that like hangs off one shoulder and like a big belt around the middle of your waist. And I'm like, oh, I've done that. I've done that with like the hat to the side. Yeah. So I don't think those like previous episodes, there's going to be too many where I'm like, ooh, I would wear that. But
did you ever wear like a blue? You were born in the 90s though. This was more of an 80s thing, but they were like blue and white polka dot dresses with shoulder pads. Pretty much everybody I know, every female that I know from the 80s has worn one.
I'm almost. I have a visual in my head of like one of like our Christmas dresses when I was like little, having like shoulder. Like I have an image of what you're saying, not the same exact dress, but I'm pretty sure
white and blue dots.
I'm pretty sure
Your father let you go that uncoordinated for Christmas?
Well, I wasn't that exact dress.
Oh, I was gonna say. Sheesh.
No, I'm pretty sure that that my mom put us in some 80s styles.
Good.
What is your guilty pleasure show that like even I might not fully know about?
I don't really know if I have one. That's the tricky part, because like I don't care.
It's true.
You know, like if I
Do you have a
think
guilty pleasure like movie or like a song that you're like, I might be judged a little bit for that?
the only one I can think of immediately is that one Billie Eilish song.
Billie Eilish.
William Eyelash. We're gonna have to reference that one. That's hysterical. When Dwight Schrute goes to visit Billie Eilish at her house to quiz her about The Office. It's on YouTube. Check it out. But he keeps calling her William Eyelash.
It's like when he, instead of Justin Bieber, he says Justice Bieber.
Yeah.
Beaver. And he says, who's Justice Beaver? And Jim's just like,
Crime fighting beaver.
Crime fighting beaver. Just totally plays along with it.
Yeah.
We're not fans of The Office at all. We can quote it out of context.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. I was shocked when you like, for like a couple of days you were singing.
It got me to listen to like more of her stuff, and I'm like, no, the rest of it's terrible. This one's just freaking catchy. Like,
I like
no
some of
judging
her stuff.
Billy. It's just not, you know.
I like some of her stuff. Not all of it.
No, some of her stuff is good, but like she's got that weird voice where it only works in certain ways. I feel like, and that song, like anytime I heard it, I couldn't get it out of my skull.
I can't think of what song it is now.
That's the one. Yeah, I don't know why.
My phone just shut down.
Did it?
Yeah, I was trying to take a boomerang. Can you? Thanks.
I think my favorite line from that song is what really makes it catchy. When it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Get my pretty name out of your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's so cocky that I actually like it.
It's so cocky, it works.
Yeah. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this or you didn't, let us know. Let us know, what you thought of the tips. If you guys need help with anything, our contact links, the links to my podcast, the links to her challenge, everything's in the show notes. Just click on our individual link trees and you'll get sent wherever you need to go. The show information's also in there. And, shout us out. Share us with somebody. Let us know. Because of the snowstorm, we weren't able to send the giveaway stuff out yet, but it is coming.
And it's going to California.
Yep.
So please, please, please understand our snowstorm situation as best you can.
But we are getting it out ASAP. But, so look for more of those. I'm not saying anytime soon, but maybe by surprise. You never know.
Yeah, we're going to definitely be doing some pop-up, like story, slide to enter type, like one day giveaways. So
whoop whoop.
Be on the lookout, friends.
Until then, guys, have a good week. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.